Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, if you notice, I've got the truck hooked up to the trailer here, and I'm going to show you what happens when I lower the trailer on. And by the way, the trailer's empty and it's going to squat the truck pretty good. If you notice right there, I've got some airbags and I've got some Daystar polyurethane spacers. We are going to airbag the truck so that it doesn't squat anywhere near as bad, because when I'm driving down the road I start to feel just a very little bit of vibration. Now yes, I do know I need to look at maybe some load levelers too, but if you look at the thickness here, right, of that area, it's also got aluminum plate welded on. It's going to take quite a bit to make some load levelers work. So I need to follow up with Featherlite to find out what's going on. But anyway, let me shoot you a short little quick video of how bad this thing squats, and then I'll show you what's in the kit here and then how to install it. So hang tight. So as you guys saw, the truck definitely came down a couple of inches. It's not sitting too bad right now, but once I put, 3,200 pound car on the trailer, it's going to drop down quite a bit more. So now that's why I want to put the airbags on. So when I start loading this up, this rides a little leveler. The front doesn't come up like this, and look kind of, one of the, like, what do they call it? The Carolina trucks, right? Where they got, it doing the funky angle deal. So anyway, let me go ahead now and rip this apart. By the way, I paid $75 for the Daystars off Amazon, and I found the torque kit here on Amazon as well for $269. So, and I also bought a tee that will be delivered today. All that cost me, I think it was like $350 for everything to install the airbags on the truck. So let's see, let's get into it. Alright guys, so I'm on pretty level ground here. You can see I've got my front tire chalked with a 4x4 so it doesn't roll forward. I also have two 6-ton jack stands holding up under the rear axle here, as well as I've left the jack as well under the pumpkin, for some extra support just in case. So now let me go ahead and show you what all again came into the kit. So again, these are the Daystars. I just got the bags sitting on them at this point. But the Daystar, you get some hardware and the two, I'll call it seats, if you will, for the bags. With the torque part kit, you get these two bags. You get a bag full of hardware here. You'll get these two little brackets, these 4 brackets. This is a heat shield. You'll get 2 of these brackets, which I believe will face down like this. The airbag sits on that. A couple more brackets here, a couple more brackets here. So the kit's pretty simple overall. So I'm gonna get set up here, guys. Take a moment, read the instructions, and see what my next step is. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm gonna do is a little pre-assembly here for this section. And then it has us install, looks like these little brackets here. Next, and then we need to do a cut right here on the jounce bumper, and then we can go ahead and start assembling. But because I'm running these Daystars right on the bag before I install this bracket onto it like so, what I need to do is, or at least what I'm going to do is, this is the bolt from the kit for the Daystars. It's longer than the standard bolt that you get in the kit. And so what I'm going to do is put on a little thread locker, the blue thread locker, so I can remove the fastener if I need to. It doesn't call for it in the kit, but it's something I'm going to do to make sure it doesn't vibrate out. Well guys, this is great. I did the pre-assembly, and then I noticed there was an important piece of the puzzle missing. I got all the brackets, got all the hardware. I'm missing the tubing. I have no tubing. So now on Monday, because it is on a Saturday, I need to call the company and get the tubing. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put everything on the truck until the tubing arrives. This sucks. Guys, I made a little error when I did my initial, bolt together. This Daco, or this Daystar, is supposed to bolt to this lower bracket, and then you're not supposed to bolt your bag, like I did initially. So what you need to do is take and use the hardware that came with the Daystar kit, bolt it to your lower bracket here, okay, with the supplied hardware, and then basically you bolt in your upper bag like I showed you guys, and you can see it. This is just going to rest inside of here. Now, the reason it looks like this right now is I've got the body lifted up. I'll go ahead and lower the body and you'll see how the bag sits in there. All right, guys, so cut line is basically going to be right above, or I should say flush even with the U-bolts here. So I'm basically going to go right about there, straight across. And I'm going to use, I've got a handheld DeWalt little Zawzaw here. So we're just going to whack across and do both sides. So if you guys notice, this is supposed to be spread on either side, and I'm going to have to spread this out to fit over top of that. So what I did, came over here on the workbench, put it in the vise, put my foot up there, gave her a little tug, and spread it out. So now we'll go see, now this will fit on there and bolt on. All right, guys, so I've got both bags pre-assembled. I've got the valves installed here, the lock nuts. On the passenger side, we have the heat shield installed. You'll need to install the heat shield for the exhaust. And then you can see on the driver's side. And what's nice too, guys, is once you put these in, you can move these around. That way, when you finally decide your placement of your airline, you can then kind of put it in that place and connect your airline. Now guys, one thing that made it a whole lot easier to put the bags in was to put the jack under my trailer hitch here, raise up the body, a few inches, which made it a whole lot easier to put the airbags in. All right, guys, now you'll see why I raised up the body higher so I could get the bag in. You can see here, I can compress the bag, slide it, work it over, and get it into place. So now I can attach this bracket here, and I can attach these brackets down here. I'm going to put it all loose. I'm going to go under the truck, and then I'm going to put in that other bracket where we put in the big bolt right here. So hang tight. Let me go ahead and at least put all this in place loosely, put in that other bracket loosely, and then we'll tighten it all up. All right, guys, so we almost have one side done. So what I did is I left this bracket off and loose, so I didn't have it in at all. I did not have this nut installed, and I left those out so I could attach and tighten these guys, these nuts and bolts on both sides, these two, and then there's a couple more up here. And I was able to tighten them all from being out out in the fender well, if you will. So I was able to get them all, and then I just put these back on. I need to now to tighten this up yet, so I'm going to tighten this next. Then we'll tighten up this big bolt, and then this side will be done. So farting around just trying to figure out how this is all supposed to go in the neck, if you will. I'm probably into this for about an hour right now, so it won't take me too much longer to just tighten that up and then tighten these four up, and this side will be done except for the missing air hose, which again I'll have to call on Monday and have them ship me that. So then we'll go to the other side here in just a minute and install the other side. You can see here is that heat shield, because here's the exhaust, so that protects the bag from getting too hot. So that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, guys, and there we go. It is all buttoned up. Got the big bolt tightened up. It is a 1 1/8 inch, I believe, nut and bolt. We got the 2 small fasteners, tightened up. Got the, these bolts, all leg bolts all tightened up now. This bag ain't going anywhere, as you can see. So now all I gotta do, like I said, is wait for the airline so I can route the airline and then fill the bag. So now let's flip over to the other side. It's basically the exact same thing. I'll put this in place, tighten up these fasteners first, put in that bracket on the back, right? Which is why we're tightening up those fasteners. Then we'll put this nut in, put those in, tighten these up. So guys, right here you can see all the torque specs that you need to tighten all the fasteners to. So just there is a note on here. It is page 2, table A there with the fastener torque specs. All right guys, so for this airbag I'm going to have to come up under here from the back side and in, where the other one I could come in this way. For some reason I got to go through the back side on this one. I couldn't get it in from the front side. So guys, basically I'm taking it, right, going like so, slipping her over, getting the air out of her. There we go. So like I said, for some reason for this one I had to come in up through this area and then finesse it and get it seated in place. So now we can go ahead and do the assembly just like the other side. I will say guys, this side is much more difficult than the other side. One thing I did is I took this bolt out, and it actually goes to the wiring harness back here, and that gave me more room to get my hands up in here to install the washer and the nut and stuff. Now I still need to tighten it, and then I'll put this back together, right? But it gave me some access. The other thing that made my life a whole lot easier is if you have a wrench that is offset, you can see this is quite a bit more offset. It makes it a whole lot easier to get these side bolts, to use this to hold them on the inside, the nut side, if you will, and to tighten them up. All right, guys, so what I end up having to do is take all these out. So there's 3 12mm fasteners up there at the top that I showed you the one earlier. I took all 3 of those out, and then you can see I was able to get a lot more access to not only these side bolts but also the big bolt to be able to tighten it up. All right guys, now I've got the body sitting down, and you can see it does, this basically is gonna just rest right inside there, which was, granted she's a little crunched up right now because she doesn't have any air in it, but once I get a little air in it, basically this will just kind of rest down in there, and then we'll be in a good condition. All right guys, so got the line. Called them on Monday, and they shipped it out. FedEx, I got it on Wednesday, so got the truck jack back up here. Gonna crawl into there, see what we need to do. What I'm thinking about doing is, let me back up here. I saw somebody else do this. Actually had them mounted right here inside the fuel door, where they had the 2 fittings. So I was going to pull this out real quick, kind of put the 2 fittings there, just kind of hold them up and just see if that would work or not. If not, then I'll have to figure out where I'm going to put them in the back of the truck. So hang tight while I figure this out. All right, everybody, so the thing I'm going to do is, obviously these aren't going to be sticking out that far, but stick them like here and here, something like that, in this general area, because with my air chuck, right, I can easily get in there to fill the bags up. There shouldn't be any problem here with the fuel door, hitting it at all, and the gas cap. So if I have them putting like right there, sticking out, you can see that the gas cap also clears. So, and if you pull this out, there's basically just 4 screws that hold it in. Come on. Alright. And then once you get it out, you can see there's plenty of room back there to route your lines in this area. Kind of go down and across and come up and kind of loop it in. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and give a try. So let me go ahead and crawl into the truck, see if we can't fish it, up here. Have two separate lines, so that way I can adjust left to right hand side individually and not tee them together in case the truck sags on one side or the other a little bit more. We can adjust the air pressure. Yeah, the other thing, guys, is you can see I've got a couple different cutters here to cut the plastic tubing to make sure I get a nice clean cut. It doesn't crush the tubing or anything. I've got this style of cutter that I can use, and I've got also this bigger style here as well. You can get both of this style off of like Amazon or something if you need to. Or you can do what they say and use a super sharp, razor blade and carefully cut through so you don't, collapse the line and then you don't get a good seal. All right, guys, as you can see, I've got the fittings in place now. I actually have the lines hooked up. I fed them through here, connected them both, and then, kind of fished it in like this and then snapped this front end, back in afterward. That's why these fittings are in a little further. They do, they not really don't interfere with the gas cap, but they are close to the gas cap. I'll just say that. And then, I ran, you can see here, whoops, one of the lines I'm going to tie strap that up in just a moment. I do have a couple tie straps underneath here. Basically, I pulled one out, and I'll crawl under here in a minute, but basically one comes straight out of this bag, goes across, and then you can see, both lines go right there and then go up to the fuel tank here. And then, like I said, the other line goes straight across. You can kind of see it above the spare tire there, goes across and then goes in, and it's got plenty of clearance for the exhaust. And I'll crawl under there in a second and show you that. I did put air in the bags, and they are holding pressure at this point. I'm going to set the vehicle down in a second and put some weight on them and see what happens. But before I do that, I'll crawl under there and show you what I did for the direction of the lines. Now I need to add a few more zip ties, right, to secure these lines, but you can see this one comes straight out of the fitting, goes over, loops around, and then goes up, behind that splash shield, and then goes out. All right, where this one over here, where is the line? So this one is right here. Okay, so there's that space, here's the bracket right here, okay? So it goes in the opening of this bracket right here. And then you can see right there, it loops up and around, goes above the spare tire here. You can see again, here's the line. I need to secure it yet, so it's out of the way. We'll do a little better job of securing this so it doesn't flop around. And then again, it goes over by this one and then up around the splash shield. So, like I said, there's now some air in the bags. I'm gonna go ahead and put the passenger or driver side tire back on, torque the wheels on, set it down. Then we'll check the actual air pressure, see where we're at, and then we'll adjust it, play with it a little bit, and just kind of watch it to make sure there's no leaks. But so far, so good. All right, guys, so there's about 15 pounds in the bottom bag right now, and I'm just going to hit this real quick, and you'll see how it raised the truck up and nothing flat. So it doesn't take much air to raise this up. And in fact, it jumped from 15 to 32 pounds pretty fast, and you saw it hike up. So I'm going to leave a little air in both bags now, air them both up, even though it sits maybe a little high, just to see if there's any leak down issues. So there's about 30 pounds of air in the bags. Let's see now what happens to the rear end when I put the trailer down. You guys can't see it, but it is off the wood now, and all the weight are on the airbags. So, it squatted down a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'd have to say Thumbs up to the airbags. One thing you guys, you'll notice is my trailer is not level now. You know, there was running 30 pounds of air in the back, right? Squatted just a little bit, but you notice my hitch, you know, my hitch ball and stuff, I had to flip it because it was almost sitting down too low. Now I need to take that ball, flip it the other direction, then I can put the receiver in correctly, and then we'll play with the air pressure with the car on there and get the car, you know, the trailer a little bit more level as we're driving down the road. So that's the next thing I need to do. So anyway, so guys, I hope this video helps you. I know I kind of made a couple mistakes along the way, but you guys get the idea of what it's going to take to install this this kit. It's actually pretty easy. You know, 3-4 hours is probably what it took me and all. You know, maybe 3-4 hours probably is about what it took. So hope this helps you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and we'll talk to you guys all in the next upload. Have a great day.